1, 2, 3, 4. I gave you all I had to give, and I done the best I can. So now it's up to you to finish what I began. Yes, I will always love you, and I'll be there just for you. So in all that you do, my child, to yourself you must be true. So promise me that you will fight for what it is that you believe. No matter what you do in life, it's in the giving that you'll receive. Wherever the road may take you, those you meet along the way, promise me that you will count your blessings every day.
And a very good day to you, or morning, or evening, whenever you happen to catch this. I am Jason Hawes, back once again on American Faith Today, and back again doing another podcast, and on a holiday weekend, as I am recording this. It is September 1st, 2019. Hard to believe it's September 1st already. Less than 3 months now, more or less, until the year 2020. But it is, tomorrow will be Labor Day, so by the time all of you, anyone and everyone who hears this, you probably will either be well into your Labor Day, hopefully relaxation and celebration and whatever you have planned to do, or whatever the heck you want to do. You will be doing it or have done it. But nevertheless, about now less than an hour away from actually September 2nd. I'm recording this pretty late. But it is good to be back and doing another podcast. As always, great, fantastic to have you listening and out there with me. And it was kind of cool. I saw somebody who is familiar with at least the Facebook page, American Faith Today, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, she was introduced to it or became aware of it through a mutual friend and someone who's listened to many of the podcasts that I've done here and there over the years, and goes to the Facebook page. And but someone who was aware of the Facebook page had occasionally posted some comments and reactions, either literally posting some remarks or doing a thumbs up to various links and stories and so forth, who I think maybe just discovered that I actually do podcast, which admittedly is on me. I haven't done them that often here recently, but I think may have listened to one for the first time, perhaps, at least the way that she was reacting, and appreciated it, which is always, of course, the main thing. So hopefully she'll get a chance to listen to this one as well. I think it'll be, actually, from what I can tell, probably right up her alley, but right up the alley of many of you. Hopefully, of course, will be the thing. And I'm titling this one, Your Health, Your Choice. And this may seem like, at first blush, a digression or a deviation from the norm, or from what perhaps I would, I suppose, normally do, thereby the deviation from the norm to be repetitive and redundant. But nevertheless, I don't think that it is. And if you ever keep a regular eye, or even an occasional eye, on the American Faith Today Facebook page, you'll notice from time to time, and on certain days, I guess, depending on my mood, I'll post quite a few natural health stories, links, information for people, and I've done that actually today. And this evening, I've posted several stories of this type on the Facebook page. I've always been, or I don't know if I can literally say always been, but I've certainly been for a good portion of my life now. I'd say over half of it, or at least almost half of it. We'll just say around 50% of my life at 43 years of age. I've been a believer in natural health and in supplements and in healing with natural supplements, minerals, vitamins, foods, organic supplements, things of that nature, as opposed to and as compared to the pharmaceutical, big pharma, scientific, the doctor, pharmaceutical, hospital alternatives and solutions. I would much rather go down the natural path when and where possible, which generally it is almost always possible. As to why, well, I mean, take a look and listen around. Do you watch any television at all? Which I know some people don't. And I know occasionally I'll see some people have said that they've completely gotten rid of television. Or, there's cutting the cord when it comes to cable, and there's cutting the cord when it comes to television altogether. And there's reason for that, and that even is somebody's personal choice. But if you do watch television and just any commercial out there for any type of medicine, prescribed medicine, or even over-the-counter medicine, you'll watch and you'll listen to the supposed benefits of the drug, and then you'll watch and listen to all of the possible side effects with the drug. And those side effects in many cases, of course, far, far, far outweigh the supposed benefits. Especially when there's other alternatives out there that are more natural, that God Himself has given us rather than what man has given us, which isn't coming down so much on our fellow human beings and on mankind, but God gave us, I certainly feel, what we need to take care of our bodies and to take care of our health on this planet. And unfortunately, yes, man, we have done a pretty good job of even depleting, I don't want to say ruining, but depleting and diminishing even that with various herbicides and pesticides and your glyphosates and Roundups, Monsantos, now Bayers, and just overworking the land when it comes, even overworking the ground when it comes even to regular good old-fashioned farming and planting and harvesting. Even going back to the Bible where God's instructions were to let the land rest every seventh year. Of course, we don't do that and haven't done that for many years now. But certainly going down the natural path is something that I believe in, that my parents believe in, that I think many people actually believe in and have some level of curiosity for and interest in when people are generally very receptive to it whenever I talk about it in my own personal life, whether I'm talking about it at work. I've got a work colleague, a co-worker, who's asked me recently, fairly recently, and of course I'm not either a naturopathic doctor or a doctor at all. I just try to inform myself and try to keep up on it, and I could even do a better job with all the wealth of information that we have out there. I could even do a better job of it still. But asked me one time what some good remedies were, natural remedies, natural supplements for high blood pressure, as her mom had. I don't know what her blood pressure is, but her mom does suffer from high blood pressure. She said her mother was obese. But so I gave her some information that I knew, some things that I had heard was good for high blood pressure, and she shared it with her mom, and I'm not quite sure how that's going, but it was well received anyway, and it was a question that she had for me. But today I have been going through a couple of websites in particular, and trying to collect information for this particular show, in this particular podcast because, again, there is such a wealth of information out there. I've decided as I kind of looked at various stories and some of the more recent stories that were posted as I was reading them, I decided to break this down into two basic categories. And those categories are vaccines and treatments for and alternative treatments for cancer. And when I talk about and when I titled this podcast, Your Health, Your Choice, a large part of that is sharing and giving out information, because if you're not properly informed, you can't make a wise choice. And that is with anything. But certainly when it comes to your health, which we're all responsible for trying to maintain and optimize our health. And all of us, even in doing this, I can say, certainly myself, I could do a better job with that. And I can make excuses and so forth, but still I do try to do what I can. Can I do more? Absolutely. But you need information to make choices. And that's the thing when we hear, as I'm going to get into vaccines first and vaccination, and we look at and we hear and we watch some of the very concerning legislation that is going on, that is still to come, that has passed in some states and in some areas, some of the stories, and there's people that are very much on top of that particular issue when it comes to removing exemptions, be they religious, be they philosophical, be they medical, removing exemptions to mandatory vaccine programs for children, for our children in this country. There's people who are all over that. And I would encourage you to do your own research as well. I'll guarantee you that when you start looking for natural health supplements, alternatives, things like that, start doing some searches, I'll guarantee you'll find more and more and more in various places online, and then you can go to the library. As I checked out a book some time ago on 100 some different herbal supplements and medications. There's a wealth of information out there. But there are people that don't want you getting your hands on that wealth of information, which unfortunately includes certain elements within the government, which unfortunately also includes the social media companies, the big tech companies, your Google, your Facebook, and Amazon as well. And these two entities, government and internet, government and social media, government and Amazon, working hand in hand to try to keep us from receiving some of this information and sharing some of this information and getting it out there. And, it's very interesting to me, for one, that I can go to some corners of the internet, which I do on occasion, and I can read of people talking about those who do not believe in or do not agree with or are skeptical of vaccines and having their children vaccination. I saw literally somebody say it's like they're in a cult, or it's like they're a cult at this point. No, I'll guarantee you that the cult, to use kind of the loose definition and to paraphrase it and put it in my own words as a late and well-respected, I'm sure by some of us, pastor of a church called Shepherd's Chapel, a cult, loosely defined, if you're within a group or subscribing to some type of belief or belief system in which you either are not allowed or discouraged from questioning the information, from having any dose of healthy skepticism when it comes to the dogma and the doctrine being put out there, be it the medical establishment, be it the media, be it whatever, But if you discourage any kind of questioning and open discussion, then